One of the most impactful events in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen aside from the Shibuya incident itself has been Sukuna taking over the body of Megumi Fukishiro. The reason why this specific action is so pivotal to the story is because it opens the door for a 10 shadow user to finally exercise and gain control over all 10 shadows. And the disturbing thing about this entire ordeal is that it all seems planned. It appears that this is what Sukuna wanted all along. But why? You see, this brings us back to Shibuya and more specifically Mahoraga, who's one of the 10 shadows summoned by Megumi. Now, this specific Shikigami is noted as one of the strongest cursed spirits in the universe of Jujutsu Kaisen, and this was explicitly shown to us in the fight between Mahoraga and Sukuna himself. Now, what we need to know about the 10 shadow technique itself is that it uses shadows as an intermediary to summon cursed spirits and allows the user the opportunity to force said cursed spirit into submission, which would then grant the user access to that cursed spirit for later use. The only condition is that the user has to exercise the spirit by himself. If the user elicits outside help, the exorcism ritual will be null and void even if they do defeat the spirit. And as we saw at the end of the Shibuya incident, Sukuna was able to fully defeat Mahoraga by burning him to nothingness, which then brings up an interesting question. Can Mahoraga be summoned again? This question is relevant because it's stated that once a Shikigami is destroyed, it will never return. And since Sukuna destroyed Mahoraga, that should be the case here as well. The issue here is that this case is very unique in that Mahoraga wasn't eliminated by the user who summoned him. He was dispatched by an outside force which would make the entire exorcism null and void. Along with the fact that Mahoraga has the ability to adapt to all phenomena, and what if that also includes death? We see that he was able to adapt to Sukuna's curse technique after getting hit by it once. He even adapted to and survived Sukuna's domain expansion, which utilizes his curse technique to a higher degree. And although he was seemingly dispatched by Sukuna's flame technique, it's likely that he is able to come back due to the ability to adapt to all phenomena and also the fact that the exorcism is null and void. If he's able to come back, it might be the same Mahoraga or it might be a new one who hasn't adapted to Sukuna's attacks. There's also the possibility that when Sukuna eliminated Mahoraga, its powers and abilities were passed down to another Shikigami used by the 10 shadow technique, as was stated to happen to all the 10 shadow Shikigami when destroyed. Now, this might not be the case since Megumi never subdued Mahoraga, so that likely doesn't apply to him, or maybe it does still apply since he's a part of the 10 shadows. The reason why all this is relevant is that Sukuna has shown that he has the strength to fight Mahoraga, and now that his power is being combined with Megumi and the 10 shadows, he should be able to easily dismantle Mahoraga and gain control of the Shikigami. This should come in handy since Sukuna will undoubtedly face off against Gojo when he gets released from the prison realm. And as stated by Gojo himself, the head of the Zenin clan who was also a 10 shadow user, and the head of the Gojo family was also a user of the Limitless and 6-Eye ability, both faced off and ended up eliminating each other, which means that a 10 shadow user has the ability to dispatch a Limitless and 6-Eye user. The funny thing is that in the battle with Haruta, Megumi deduced that it wasn't due to strength but likely due to the Shikigami within the 10 shadows, more specifically Mahoraga. To be clear, it's stated that no 10 shadow user has ever been able to subdue Mahoraga. So what Megumi is implying is that the 10 shadow user who beat the Limitless user did it by allowing himself to be dispatched by Mahoraga, similar to what Megumi did in Shibuya. What this means is that Mahoraga has the ability to bypass infinity, which is likely due to the ability to adapt to all phenomena. If Sukuna has this Shikigami under his control, I don't see how anyone can hope to defeat him even with the help of Gojo. Or maybe Gojo is just that much stronger than the past Limitless user, or maybe he has an ability they didn't. All in all, it will be interesting to see how the fight between the two sorcerers will play out, of course referring to Gojo and Sukuna, especially since Sukuna doesn't have his 20 fingers, he only has 15. But Sukuna merging his body and powers with Megumi and the 10 shadows might be enough to clear that distance. And even then, people were under the assumption that current Sukuna with 15 fingers has the ability to defeat Gojo, which I don't see how you'd come to that conclusion. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, when it comes to like domain abilities, Sukuna's domain is stated to be more refined because he doesn't need to construct a barrier, but it's also stated that the amount of curse energy you have can influence the strength of your domain, and that might give Gojo the edge over Sukuna even though Sukuna's domain is more refined. So we'll see how it plays out, but the battle will be interesting, especially since Sukuna might have access to Mahoraga or even the other two Shikigamis that haven't been revealed in the 10 shadows, so we'll just wait and see. With that aside, the spoilers will be out later tonight, so I'll probably get out a video early tomorrow morning based on when the spoilers drop. So with that being said guys, drop a like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, you for more JJK content just like this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.